Hey, welcome back everybody. Mr. Man Talks. Glock 17C compensated model, Gen 3. Going to do some upgrades. Magazine release, side stop, Talon grips. Stand by. Hey, so some of the tools you'll need. Glock takedown device. It's just a punch pretty much. Any punch we'll use is about the same diameter. I just happen to have a couple of these laying around. Either a long screwdriver or let me see if I have something else. A tool with a hook on it. This one's sharp, so I'm trying to avoid it, but it's going to go on the inside to help take the spring out that holds the magazine release. So we'll get to that. And you'll need a hair dryer. First thing we're going to do, check, make sure we're cleared. Clear. Just take this sucker down. We will not need to slide. We'll set that off to the side. We're going to be working mainly with this. So what do you say we start with the slide release, slide lock? This one is an extended slide release, slide lock. I will roll in a video of that. The standard one works fine, but on a 17 frame, having this on, this is the same one that goes on a 34, which is a longer slide 9mm, same 17 frame. But you can see it has a little bit of a ledge on there. It's easier for me with a larger handgun to run it like this. I like doing this upgrade. This one happens to be used. I had it in my part. Okay. Punch. Hammer. There you go. And it fell out. A little bit of tension off of this, which holds this spring in, and then a little bit off the trigger pin, and it slides right out. That's the old one. I'll put it side by side of those, and I'll have a closer picture. So we'll put this back in, same hole. Push the firing pin. I'm sorry, the trigger pin back in. You'll kind of feel when it latches in. For this to work right and to go back in, that one spring right here needs to be compressed down so you can slide that top pin over it to hold it in place. Otherwise, it won't work very well. There you go. Snapped into place. Good to go. Okay, next part, magazine release. So this is also a used one I had in my parts bin. It's going to work just fine. I've used it on other Glocks. You're going to take your tool, put it underneath the spring, hook it under, move it from left to right. See a notch at the base of the magazine release. You put it through that notch, the spring will pop out on the top, allowing your magazine release to move freely. Then I'm going to slide this out from left to right, all the way out of the frame. You hear that snap? That was a spring that compressed and took its space. So look at the size difference from these. See them right there. A little bit longer. Put the new one in. Gonna line it up. This long side goes towards the trigger, and this other side will fill in the back of the magazine release. So one thing you need to do, you need to pull the spring back out away from the frame because it snapped into place. Snap close towards the frame. Going from the bottom, hook underneath. Screwdriver will do this too. You got to get this a couple times. It's a pain in the butt. Once you got it, you got it. Let's try this again. There we go. That's some good. All you need to do is get it right over the actual magazine release. There we go. Now it's right over it. finally, what it's going to do, it's going to push this, and you see it's all the way out to the other side of the frame. Make sure this is flush. And take this spring, hold this so it doesn't move. You're going to move the spring to the right until it snaps back into place. Okay, so last mod we're going to make is we're going to add some Talon grips, because on the Gen 3s you have the finger grooves. Some people like them, some people don't. It has some stippling up front. It's really smooth plastic on the sides, a little bit of grip on the side, on the back. But what it doesn't have the interchangeable back straps. I know you could buy replacement parts that gives you a more of a beaver tail. It goes through this actual hole right there, and secured with the same pin. But I've tried those. I don't like them. It moves where my hand actually grips. And although it does provide a little more solid feel in the hand, I prefer Talon grips. These ones are made specifically for the Glock 17, 22, 24, all the way up through 37, Gen 1, 2, and 3. So Gen 1 through 3 is typical for Talon grips, because they're all essentially the same frame. Gen 2, Gen 1 didn't have the finger grooves, but the wrap, the way that it goes on, is the same. 4 and 5, they have different versions, and I've tried those before. This one is the black rubber version, which I prefer. Although the sandpaperish type is actually pretty good. I like that. My friend has it on his. He really enjoys it, and it does stick in your hand. I just don't like when you're not shooting it that it's so abrasive. So let's see, we get this open. Has installation instructions here. Wipe for the grip, comes with a sticker. First thing we're going to do, we are going to clean the frame. So we're going to remove all residue. This is a brand new gun, so I don't have any dirt or anything else like that on there. The only thing you're getting rid of is oils. I haven't cleaned this gun yet, so the wrap's going to come up around here. So this is just an alcohol wipe. So if you have alcohol wipes or something very similar, that's all you need to do. I'm going to sit there and let it dry for a second. We're going to go over the grips. I see how it sits. It's going to go right up here. Here's the Glock logo. This goes right over it, so the Glock logo is there. You start on the right on this. Get off there. What are you doing? Start on the left-hand side. You work your way around. It'll wrap all the way around. Finger grooves here, and it gets secured. So these finger grooves you'll see in a second go underneath this grip. It's actually very pliable, and you could move and remove it. Once we have it to where we want it and it's lined up as good as it can be, then we are going to use a hair dryer and we're going to finish installing it. So let's get started. Okay, I'm going to take the grips, peel back the backing. It's actually pretty sticky, but it allows you to peel it up and replace it as you need to. And I peel off as I go around. Just makes it easier. As if this thing would cooperate with me. See all these different cuts? That helps it conform to the wrapping around in the different parts of the firearm. But what a pain. Look at this. Here I am talking about how easy it is and struggling. Come on, baby. Technical difficulties. There we go. All right, let's start on the side, left-hand side. It goes over the Glock logo. You see how this falls all the way up here. You have your, I don't know what they call that, the thumb groove, or no, it's a little dip in the frame. But you see how it lines up. Just press it in. You don't have to have it permanently in there yet, because you're going to have to stretch this a little bit. Yeah, there we go. There you go. Push it down. Kind of make sure, I make sure that these sides are even. So when you come around over here, you'll see it was not exactly even. You need to move it around around a little bit. There's the magazine release on the other side. So I'm going to make sure that this part's cut out. The cutout is clear. And that looks like it's pretty even for me. It actually went on pretty good this time. So finger grooves. See how there's a little excess material? We're going to lift this up just a bit. It's going to go right underneath. 1, 2-ish, and 3. And this goes right back over the top. So you can see it's installed. I'm going to press it down, make sure it's exactly where we want it. There's no bubbles, there's no overlap like that. Make sure that the magazine release is free and clear. And we're ready to move on to the next part of the installation of this. Next part of the installation is going to be applying heat. So they say apply it like a warm cup of coffee. So I turn this on high, turn on hot. I'm going to pretty much blow dry it all over. Make sure I'm pressing firmly down so the adhesive starts working. So I'll see you in just a second. So these are some of the mods I make for my Gen 3s when I get them. This is the only Gen 3 I have right now, and the only reason I picked it up was because it's a factory ported 17. I've seen the 19s out there. I wanted a full size, so I really enjoy these handguns. I just hate the finger grooves. Some of the things that are a con on this handgun to me: finger grooves, magazine release, sights on every Glock that I've ever owned, and also the slide stop slide release. So with these easy mods that don't cost a lot, parts are simple to come by, easy to install. I know it's kind of difficult to look and see how I did it. I find that the Talon grips are great. They're a good solution. They start to peel off. Put on a new one. They're $20 on Amazon. The slide release, slide lock, that's completely optional. I like it because you don't have to come up and manipulate it with your other hand. It's easy to operate and it works really well. The magazine release is also very subjective. If you like the shorter one, keep the shorter one on there. On the full-size handguns on the Gen 3s, I like the longer. It just gives me a little more to work with. I don't accidentally, inadvertently drop the magazines, so that really works out well for me. And one thing I did do is I radius this. I took a little file, kind of filed off the corner so it's not so sharp, and so did it on all 4 corners. It actually feels really good, but it still gives enough purchase. It's not a Gen 4, Gen 5 magazine release. Don't expect it to be. It's a Glock Gen 3. So do expect that. I don't make mods to my triggers. I like the stock trigger. It works fine for me. I shoot very well with it. My first handgun, semi-automatic handgun, was a Glock Gen 2. It was Glock 19 Gen 2. And I shot it really well. I had it for many, many years. And, I kind of miss it. I sold it, but I also don't need a Gen 2 Glock 19 anymore. Sights, I don't know if I talked about these. I put them in a short video that I made, but pretty much these are 3-dot white sights from Trigicon. They're steel. It costs about $45. It's something worth looking into if you are not in a tritium. You just want a regular, 3-dot white sights. Metal, better than the ones that come with the Glock. So those are my quick mods for Gen 3 Glock 17. Let me know how you like it, what you do to your handguns, what you do to your Glocks. I'd love to hear it. And tell me if I'm wrong about any of these mods and what you found over time works best for you. Thanks for watching. If you like this content, please like. If you appreciate the content that's being put out on this channel, please subscribe. It will encourage me to do some more. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.